But that might be a nice transition to the fact that, because we haven't spoken since last week, Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee reported, I don't know, what was it, Friday? That
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that Fox has been dealing with a bruised foot since the Orlando game, which was like 5 weeks ago,
Yeah,
6 weeks
early, I
ago,
think November 5th or
the
something.
first weekend in November.
Yeah.
And he's been dealing with that. And also, he injured his thumb against Indiana that he re-aggravated against Milwaukee, but that was kind of just mentioned. The foot seemed to be the major thing. Fox said it hurt him, quote, a lot. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because Fox had such an interesting. He had some really good games in there, and it makes you wonder because he started to kind of peter out. Hopefully, this is some kind of lesson learned that maybe he should have taken a game off or two earlier to prevent it from getting worse. Because that's kind of what it sounds like to me, and I think it sounds like to a lot of people that this could have been kind of the full effect of this could have been minimized if he just rested a little bit, right?
100%. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, he heard it on November 5th against the Magic, and he had a big game, hit that game winner from half court, and then he went on a run after that. I think he got player of the week nominee, then he got player of the week, and then kind of after that he started petering out on that road trip right before Thanksgiving with who did we play that week? I don't know. Oh, it was that Hawks game, that back to back that I've referenced earlier in the podcast. And he kind of just started. It was that Hawks game, really. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, he didn't show up, but it's like second game of back to back because he did well against Memphis the night before.
32 points against Memphis.
Yeah.
He had 18 against Atlanta.
18, 20 against the Celtics, and then he hasn't broken 20 since then. He sat out the last two games. But just like that report comes out, it was like 6 or 7 bad games in a row. Not bad, but I mean, Kings won some of those. But it's like, all right, like Fox is going from scoring 30 a game the last 2 weeks now to he can't even reach 20, and he's not driving. He looked off, like he was sitting in the corner, not really doing much. And so then you hear like this comes out, and it's like, yeah, he hurt his foot, and he's like, yeah, it hurts a lot. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like I get it.
And then, like Anderson's describing, like, yeah, they're putting like ointment on it and doing a light wrap on it. I'm like, what the hell?
Like, yeah, like, just rest, dude. Like, and I'm glad they, I don't know. At least if you're not gonna rest it after that game, it's like, okay, he was still like he won player of the week with this foot injury. It's like at least after these 6 games or 7 games where he was like, all right, what's going on now? It's like, it's maybe do that a little earlier in that bat than like when it started to be noticeable that something was affecting him. But whatever. I mean, we went 1-1 without him because I think he's coming back tonight. So hopefully it's those 2 nights off, those 2 games off have helped. But this could have been preventable. I mean, not preventable. I guess he's missing 2 games regardless, but you wish they did it sooner.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
What if how big of a difference would it have made if he sat out the game in Atlanta?
Yeah. I mean,
second game of a back-to-back. I mean, like, not saying you want to throw in the towel on anything, but it's a game that you don't have the biggest probability of winning.
I think they were winning though, right? That was still
they had a win streak going,
right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's probably why. I guess. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I can see their reasoning.
Okay, and then that pivots into, doesn't that turn into a lesson? Which is like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully that turns into a lesson, especially if you want to be a team in it for the long haul. Now I get it. There's still like, they could very like reasonably be battling for positioning, and every game matters. It's not like they're going to be like at the top of the West and they got this deep experienced team and they can rest their stars for as many games as they want. But doing it every once in a while probably wouldn't be a bad idea, especially when like injuries can, like, that stuff nags and it can like last year, I feel like you didn't see Fox in the whole middle of the year because he's just dealing with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like, is there a history of this kind of stuff? I don't
Yeah,
know.
especially Fox too. It's like your foot, especially in that Bucks game. He looked so off. I'm like, why isn't this guy driving? And he loses his purpose a little. He couldn't shoot. He couldn't get his shot going because he wasn't respected in the paint. And he had a couple open shots where he just missed. And the foot probably affected that too. So it's just like, all right, why do we let it get to this point? If it's bothering him that bad, he can't do what he's out there to do. Might as well just rest him at this point and have Mitchell start. It's probably Mitchell at his strongest is probably what Fox is at this point, like 65% of him. And he's still playing good D and stuff, but yeah, it just was obvious that dude needed a break. So glad they did it, but you're right. It should be a lesson learned and take care of it sooner. Like that report, just like, all right, like it wasn't like, yeah, like it just hurts. It's like, yeah, it seemed like not like significant, but it sounded like it was nagging him pretty hard. So
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, I don't know exactly what a foot bruise is.
yeah, I don't either.
That sounds like the
Like
type of thing
where?
that if you just don't keep making it worse, if you just give it I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, but it's hard not to look at this and be like and not say it was avoidable.
Yeah.
Because it's like we were just saying, it's like, man, he probably would have made a difference. And now I don't want to get like too particular because you made a good point. It's like they were on a win streak. You don't want to rest at that point. He's not going to make a big deal out of it. That's kind of his job, is to go out there and compete regardless of any nicks or bumps. But it's like, man, not having Fox on the road is just like tough. Like you're really making it a tough task tougher. And again, I don't want to get like too particular and nitpicky, but it's just like, wouldn't you also kind of rather have him rest at home, kind of with the home crowd behind you?
Mm-hmm. Good
I
point.
don't know. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. They put it off way too long. Um, at the end of the day, it seemed like just after the article, and it was like there's no. I felt like, I don't know, would they have rested him if that article didn't come out? Because in the article it said they had
Yeah,
no intentions of him missing time, and then
that's a good point.
I think, I forget, did that article come out before or after the Bucks game? Do you remember?
It came out after the Bucks game.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. And then he sits
it's
the next two games, so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Did that come out? I can't remember. Did it come out Thursday or Friday? I think I have it right here.
When they played the Bucks,
It
Thursday,
came out on the 8th. Oh no, it came out Thursday morning.
and when they played Milwaukee,
Wednesday. So it was right in
Wednesday.
between the two
Okay,
games.
that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
I mean, good. I don't know. I mean, Fox spoke to them, so maybe, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, I'm not
at
sure.
the end of the day, I'm glad. I'm glad he at least took these two games off, and I hope he's okay to go tonight against Philly. And I hope I hope he took the necessary time off, because we're gonna need this dude all year. It's game 25, 26 tomorrow night or tonight, so we'll
Yeah.
see. But
It
you're
would
right.
it would
Should be a
also be
lesson.
interesting. It'd also be interesting to see if they would either, and I don't think that they would do this, voluntarily have Fox sit the second of the back to back, or if it'll be interesting to see how he feels after one game. Um, I don't know. I guess that's just something to keep an eye on. But it just seems so. It just seems so. It seems like it's really counterintuitive, and like I said, just making a tough thing tougher on this road trip. But here we are. We'll see what happens against Philadelphia. That'll be the big test, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See if he plays. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to play if he's practicing. So we'll need him. We'll need him against Philly and Toronto, but we're going to need 100% Fox. So